Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey.
It's your girl, Lindsay Does It.
And it's Hazel Joy.
And this is the
FILLENNIALS Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode.
Oh, we back.
We back.
We're
on a roll, Hazel.
We are. I had one sip of coffee. And again, I have no business drinking it, but here we are.
Yeah, it's about 7 p.m., 7:30 to be exact.
I'll tell people.
And we're taking in some doses of caffeine.
You mean I?
Well, I should be drinking some caffeine
No.
because, oh my God.
See, you guys have to get up, though, at like a certain time. See, I don't, so it's okay.
That's true. So
But you know what? I pay for it later because then it's like midnight, 1 o'clock. I'm like, yo, I shouldn't have had that coffee so late. But here I am.
yeah. And before you know it, the sun is coming up and you're like, wait, I haven't slept yet.
Exactly.
Oh, well. I mean, we all could use a little pick-me-up every now and then. Today, I actually took a Zyrtec, and I was told that there's no side effects, but I felt sleepy at 11 a.m. at work. So I had to take a nap before I came here to the studio.
You know what? I think it affects people differently because when I took it, I don't think I felt sleepy, but...
Yeah. I know. I've learned my lesson. I know to only maybe take it at night or when I really need it.
It's allergy season right now.
Yes,
Which
it
I
is.
kind of woke up feeling kind of funky and a little bit like under the weather, but then I was like, it could be allergies. I don't know.
Well, you know what the weather has, we always talk about the weather. Like, oh,
I
it's
know.
like, it's cold and rainy and today was hot. And
It was hot today though.
Yeah.
It was like 80, huh?
It was
About
80, yes. And
almost.
then it's going to rain on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I don't
In the
like It's
60s.
been really weird. It'll be
Yeah.
really nice and warm, and then in the weekend it'd be really rainy or gloomy.
Yeah.
Like our Easter weekend was crappy because it was like raining.
That's right. It did rain.
It was the opposite because my brother lives in Washington State, and then I saw that they had nice, beautiful Easter sunny day, and I'm like, why did we have the
That's so
crappy
opposite.
weather?
Yeah, Washington, the Pacific Northwest is always gloomy, but it flip-flopped this time.
I know.
Oh, by
Weird.
the way, actually, speaking of family, I want to say congrats, Hazel, on your official announcement. You actually announced
yeah.
your pregnancy and your gender not too long ago on Instagram.
You know what's funny? I actually wanted to talk about that on today's show because I haven't officially talked about it yet, and I wanted to bring the ultrasound picture. I think it's in my bag, but yeah, I was like, that's funny that you said that because I'm like, what's happening right now? And then I'm like, oh yeah, dude, fog brain is real.
Yeah,
real.
mommy brain is
It's
a thing.
It's a real thing. Like I've had it before, but now like mommy brain / pregnancy brain, it's a real thing. Yesterday we were supposed to have was it yesterday?
Yeah,
Yesterday.
it was yesterday.
We were supposed to have our little podcast meeting, and then my dumb ass was like out the door, and then Lynn's is like, I'll be ready in like how many minutes, and then I'm like, shoot, I like literally forgot, and I'm like, my bad.
Yeah, brain fog is a serious thing. I mean,
It really is.
it's mommy brain, and like for those of us that have had COVID, that brain fog is serious too.
Is that part of COVID too?
That is a symptom.
Oh,
That's definitely
shoot.
a symptom that I suffered. the
I don't
first time I
remember
had
that. You know what?
It
From
sucks.
COVID, did you get hair loss?
No.
After I think months after recovering from COVID, like I noticed that I was getting clumps of hair, just losing it, and I
That's
noticed
scary.
other people were getting the same thing, and it was really weird. It
Damn.
was kind of alarming. Even my husband was like, maybe you should get it checked out because it would be like clumps. But I do have a lot of hair, like it's really thick, so I kind of really wasn't really worried.
Yeah.
You know, but
I think the more
that's
hair you
weird.
have, the scarier it looks when you do see the shedding of it.
Yeah.
Every time I wash my hair in the shower, it's like, oh my God, look at this big animal of hair that I have.
Speaking of another symptom though, was the taste.
I
How it
definitely
didn't
lost taste
come
and
back.
smell.
Oh, that was terrible.
I still feel like it's not 100% back. And it makes
Really?
me sad.
It does. It's kind of weird. I know when we recovered, I was like, man, we got to go eat like just everything. And then it didn't hit. Like it wasn't
Right.
tasting the same.
Exactly. So
Interesting.
that honestly, out of all the symptoms, that one was the one I was the most bummed about.
Yeah, same.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so let's see. We talked about.
Oh, I got to tell you about the reveal.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, how was that? How was that?
if you guys aren't following me on my personal Instagram, then I'll talk about it. So I was like, what should I do for the gender reveal? I didn't really have like a party this time. But I asked my mom, do you have any ideas? And she's like, you know what? You should have Malachi dress up we'll have him covered, and then he'll take off like a jacket or something, and then he'll wear the color like pink or blue. And I thought that was the cutest idea.
That was a cute idea.
So my mom set it up, and then she was like, I think she was joking at first, like she wanted to put him in a dress if it was a girl, and I'm like, not a dress. I'm like, put him in a color pink or color blue. And then the jacket thing didn't work out because she had him in a full outfit, which I just thought it was going to be just the shirt. But then she had him in shorts too. And so she wrapped him in the towel. And then, well, because I didn't know like if we couldn't see or not. So I had me and JP hold up a blanket just so we couldn't like peek. Mm-hmm. And then they did a little countdown. And then we like 3, 2, 1. And then, and then, yeah, mostly everybody guessed it was a girl. Did you have a guess if it was a boy or girl?
You know what you told me? You're like, I think it's going to be a boy. So in my head, I was really like, oh, you're going to have 2 boys.
I really thought it was going to be a boy, but I also wanted to be wrong because I was wrong about the first pregnancy. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a girl. And it's weird because I had a dream in the first pregnancy that I had a girl. But maybe that is real, but it's the second pregnancy.
Ooh,
but
see?
I had 2 dreams in the first pregnancy, and that second dream, it was a boy.
Oh, dang.
So it was weird. I was like confused.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your mind was like, you know, you're going to have 2. You just don't know the order yet.
I
basically.
guess. Basically. But shoot, not going to lie, I was relieved that, you know, it was a girl. Because then I'm like, all right, cool. I got 1 boy, 1 girl. Like, I don't want any more kids after this. Because, whew, it's a lot. Pregnancy is a lot.
Would you consider tying your tubes, or are you just going to be more careful in the future?
I think I'm going to just be more careful. Because, not going to lie, the tube tying thing sounds kind of scary to me. Like, it's just such a serious procedure. Wait, it's not reversible too, right? Or is it? I don't even know.
You actually can reverse it, tube tying, because it's just tying. Or maybe I'm just like reading too much into like the wordplay.
I thought vasectomies are reversible.
Vasectomies are reversible.
But I also have heard that vasectomies are like not 100%. Some people have gotten pregnant and they've like said that their husband got a vasectomy.
You know why they got pregnant? Because the husband did not wait long enough to have unprotected sex with their wives or girlfriends. And yeah, there are still like some swimmers in the chamber.
Swimmers in the chamber. Oh yeah, because they hang around, don't they?
They hang around. I think because you know, we listen to the Woody show, and the host Woody, he has a vasectomy, and he did like run down how you're supposed to wait a certain amount of days, and then you're supposed to like release them manually, like do your own like releasing, I think, for a few more days after that, and then you're in the clear.
You know what?
Literally.
I think the man should get the vasectomy, because like the things that we have to go through as women, having to have the 9-month pregnancy and then give birth and all that, and come on, do something for us.
Just the whole reproductive everything for a woman, from getting your period and having your period once a month for basically most of your life.
Exactly.
Carrying a baby or babies 9 months at a time. Maybe going through natural birth or C-section, which is like freaking like, that's very, very invasive, I guess you could say.
And you know what's really interesting though? I'm like, a lot of my symptoms this pregnancy are definitely different than the last pregnancy. Like weird things.
Morning sickness?
I never had morning sickness, but I always had night sickness with both pregnancies. But I definitely threw up a lot more this time around in the first trimester. Well, I still am in the first trimester, but in a couple of days. Well, when this episode comes out, I'm in the second trimester. But yeah, so that was a really, really weird thing. And I know in the first pregnancy, I had weird, like, another symptom was having a weird metallic, well, both I've had different cravings, but you would have a weird after taste, like a metallic taste, which is really weird.
Interesting.
Both times I definitely feel annoyed by JP. Don't hate me for saying that, but the mood swings I think this time around are way more intense. But also I wonder if it is because I'm having a girl, because before we found out I'm having a girl, JP was like, I think we're having a girl because you're a lot more sensitive this time. And I kind of think that's true, because I would actually cry when I have a craving, and I'm like, I need it now, but I'm in like full blown tears. Like, I need it. And it's not even that serious.
Give me a pack of Oreos right now.
Literally. And then with Malachi's pregnancy, I remember like I would have cravings and I'm just super chill. And he's like, well, we would have cravings, and then you would just get up and like go get it or something. Like we would just go get it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really strange. I'm gonna have to look up like some if there's like any tie-ins between gender of the baby and the mom's symptoms.
I honestly think it's just, I don't think that's real, because I know a lot of women who have had girls and didn't have any symptoms, and also know who are pregnant with boys and didn't have any symptoms. For example, my sister, she's actually due in August this year, and she's having a boy. She has no symptoms.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then like I know a woman who had a girl and she had no symptoms. So it just, I really don't think it matters. It's just everyone's different. Every pregnancy is different.
Case by case.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you only have how many more months to endure?
I know. Today I was just saying too how I felt like this pregnancy is flying by really fast. And then JP was like, well, it's because you're distracted by Malachi. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, true.
Because I'm like not thinking about it. And then also my friend's like, it's because it's your second pregnancy too, so you kind of know what to expect. And I'm like, that's kind of true too. Yeah.
That makes sense. And they do say like the first baby is like the careful, like be careful, read everything, research everything baby, and then the second baby and every baby after that, it's like we could be a little bit more casual.
Yeah. A lot more casual. I feel like I am a lot more lax for sure, because I don't know if I really talked about this like openly on the show about me being diabetic, type 2 diabetic. So it's a little bit more a lot more stricter actually. It's not just gestational, it's not just during the pregnancy, but it's a whole thing, like being diabetic and pregnant and having to like check your sugar and making sure your sugar numbers are between like this range, and it's exhausting. Like, sounds like by the end of the last pregnancy, I was like, man, I just want to be done with it. That's another reason why it's considered a high risk pregnancy, and that's another reason why I'm kind of like, okay, this is it, I'm good, you know, like I don't want to have to deal with that, because obviously you care about that baby's health and not trying to like get, you know, your sugars too high. But yeah, we out here. Dang, we getting it. You out there. Yeah, me and my baby, we out here.
Yeah, there you go. We're excited though. I mean, thank you. All of the like difficulties and like the, you know, symptoms and everything, it's all going to be worth it. Of course, as you know.
Actually, we're the first person to know, or one of the first people to know, because we were talking about one of our friends' bachelorette, and you were like, let's go. And then I was like, I got to tell you. And I was like, I don't think I can go. Which is like next month.
It is next month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
It's next
May.
month.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to J Rose.
I know, low key FOMO.
Same.
Low key, because I was like, we called it too. Oh, she's going to Mexico for her batch.
Yeah.
And like,
sounds like fun.
I know. Oh man, but it's okay.
It's okay. We'll definitely be there if she has a bridal party before the wedding. Yeah. We'll definitely be there if it's local.
For sure.
And then
I'll be at the wedding for sure.
Oh yeah. And it's going to be in August.
Yeah.
Be prepared. It's going to be hot.
Ooh, yeah. And out there too. It's going to be hot out there. Where it's at.
And you're going to be very pregnant.
Yes.
So one of my good friends, Aisha, when she was pregnant with her first child, she was pregnant during the summer, and man, everything felt extra hot to her.
Really?
She had to pee every time we went somewhere. She had to pee every half an hour.
You know what?
It was just everywhere was too hot. So I feel for women that are pregnant during the summertime.
Okay, so for me, my experience wasn't bad at all, because I stayed living in the pool, and that's amazing in the summer when you're pregnant, because that relief from the weight, like, and being in the water, it's so relaxing and nice, because you don't feel heavy, you're lighter in the water, and you're like, this is great. So and it was a great exercise. It's a good exercise.
Got it.
So I honestly didn't have a bad summer pregnancy, and I would rather have a summer pregnancy. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm diabetic, and it's right. I give birth right before the holidays. There's Thanksgiving in November, and then Christmas in December, and then New Year's. So I'm like, boom, like I'll be not pregnant, and I won't have to be that extra careful. I mean, I need to be careful no matter what, but you know, I can go a little crazy, you know.
Not to mention Halloween and all that candy.
Okay, but I'm not even that big of a like candy eater, but you know, I have my moments. My guilty pleasures are churros and ice cream. Those are my guilty pleasures. You mentioned
that on a previous episode, and I was like, dang, and put that together, and
that's so good.
That's when you have like the best dessert.
You know what? That would probably be. I have to bring some here. Like, we just need to get a microwave in here so we can warm it up and be nice and a little warm. But there's some. I know like some really bomb churro spots. in the area.
So I don't know if we're going to keep this in the episode or not, but we're going to put up an Amazon wish list sometime soon, and maybe we can get a microwave.
We're keeping that in the show. Help us out.
We need a microwave for the studio because we have Miss Hazel here who's carrying a baby and she needs to eat.
You know what? I was gonna heat up some food today too, but I ate it before I came. So
there you go. See?
We're good. It's all good. But we have a lot of other stuff to talk about. How are you? How are you since we last had our show?
I'm doing good. Nothing really worth talking about. Same old stuff. Same stuff, different day. But nothing to complain about at all. Yeah, doing well. Oh, but you know what? Speaking of food. Let's talk about beef.
What about beef?
Kendrick.
Rat beef. I see what you did there.
Kendrick and J. Cole.
That was nice.
I was like, dang, how can I transition? Oh,
that was good. I was so confused. Like, wait, what?
So if you guys aren't living under a rock, you guys have heard the Kendrick Lamar diss against Drake.
Big as a what?
Yeah, big as a what?
We were listening to that song on the way, and that song was stuck in my head.
So I think the song, the diss was mostly pointed towards Drake, and then people are like, oh, J. Cole catched us straight. And yeah, he did. But J. Cole was the first to reply, and I don't even think Drake's going to reply to Kendrick, but J. Cole replied. And
it's not like him not to, though, right? Because he usually does. Drake does.
Drake, yeah.
He just doesn't want to get into it with Kendrick.
Oh,
that's why. Because Kendrick's
exactly.
already snipped him.
Yeah, because Drake has been in beef with Meek Mill, and he's been in a beef with Pusha T. But I don't think he wants it with Kendrick.
This little rap beef really took an interesting turn.
Yeah, talk about it.
Okay. Well, let me start by saying, one, I'm not the biggest J. Cole or Kendrick fan, but I will acknowledge that they're really two dope, talented artists that I respect. And yeah, I like some of their songs. But I can't tell you I memorize their catalog or anything like that. But this is a rap beef that I actually will pay attention to. And okay, so it started with that song, right? What, Drake and J. Cole.
Yes.
What's it called again?
Shoot,
I forgot, but I was singing
it
right now.
Like that?
Like that.
And
is that, or is that that's Kendrick's song? That's Kendrick's
song.
Okay, she's gonna look it up while I talk about it. Okay, so Kendrick has a song with Future, am I right?
Yes.
And that kind of came out of nowhere, and basically took a shot at Drake and J. Cole because he's just like, nah, I ain't part of your top 3. Like, I'm just Big Me or whatever.
Yes.
His lyric was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were like, oh, everyone's like, oh, he got the internet in a rile, like just, oh, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? And then I think J. Cole just really caught that pressure from everybody because we did want to hear a response, and then so J. Cole responded with his little mixtape or a 7-minute drill is the name of his comeback on the Might Delete Later, right? And then so okay, it was good. It wasn't a bad response, but it was also really, I feel like it was kind of soft because he's like, but I respect you though.
Yeah,
like
I love my brother, but something. And I was like, because I don't see, honestly, I see J. Cole as like one of the most peaceful rappers that we have, at least mainstream rappers.
Yeah.
So for him to throw that in, like, I respect my brother, but, or I love my brother, but something, it's like him to throw that in there. Like, this is just, we're just beefing. It's just rap beef or whatever. This is just my response. I don't really hate Kendrick. Like, don't get it twisted. But yeah,
it was like a warning.
Yeah.
Right. Like the way he had come off like, oh yeah, warning shots.
He also mentioned in one of his lyrics in that song that people were texting him to make a toxic response or make a toxic, response toxically or something like that. Yeah. So he definitely just laid it out there. He was like, Kendrick said what he said about Drake and me. People are asking me to do a diss, and this is that diss. So he basically explained himself in the song.
Basically. Okay, so it took an interesting turn when, was he still on tour with Drake when he had this little spiel about he was like at a show and he wanted to apologize
that was the Dreamville concert. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a Dreamville concert, and he basically went on to apologize for releasing the track and might take it down later, and then saying, we're Kendrick fans, and it doesn't align with his spirit, and he just felt really terrible for dropping that song. And okay, I have mixed emotions about it, because I feel like it was rap beef is a fun moment for entertainment, and I think that he kind of killed that little fantasy of the beef, even though we all know they're friends.
Yeah,
like, it's okay, have a little friendly competition. If you felt that bad about it, I think he should have had a one-on-one conversation in private with Kendrick, because we know they're friends.
Yeah,
like, come on, let's be real. That's like kind of like NBA players, they compete on the court, but we know they're friends outside of the court.
Of course, yeah.
Like, so it just kind of like put a weird taste in a lot of people's mouth. I've been seeing that on social media. They're like, man, that's weak. Like, why? Okay. And then on the other hand, I will say that I kind of understand, like, he's saying it doesn't align with his spirit. And I also can respect that, because that's not the image he wants to put out. Like, I don't want to be another person to tear another man down type of vibe, so I can understand and respect that. But I think for entertainment purposes, it got us real excited.
It did.
Like, and I was like, oh, some rap beef I actually care about, So
I will say, and it's so poignant that he named his album Might Delete Later, and he's talking about deleting 7
that's
minute
probably
drill.
why he called it that.
He knew right from the jump. He's like, I don't think I'm gonna be too proud to keep this up for much longer. But I will say, once I listened to it and I listened to the whole album, he's so good when he's angry. Like, he's so good when he has something to get off his chest. Like, I like his songs about like self-esteem and like, consensual sex and all that stuff. And I like the softer stuff, not to say that it's bad. I actually think he's talented no matter what the content is of his raps. But when he raps angrily, or when he has something to prove, it's like, damn, a whole nother rapper comes out of him. So
what's really weird is that even though I wasn't the biggest J. Cole fan or the biggest Kendrick fan, like, I feel like this little rap beef kind of made me a bigger fan of both of them, because it just kind of really shows their artistry and their creativity and whatever comeback they have for each other. But I don't know, I think J. Cole should have just kept quiet about it, but again, I understand.
Yeah, like I don't know.
He's just a good person. He's
Yeah,
such a
I
pure
think so.
soul that he's just like, it doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah. And I think he's a father too, so maybe he wants to make sure his example of being a responsible person and being, I don't know, a man of your honor, or I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it.
Well, let us know, who are you, team J. Cole or team Kendrick?
Or team Drake, which nobody is not. Just kidding.
I know. I still want to hear Drake response though.
We'll see. All right. So speaking of rappers and hip hop, so to kind of like take it back to a happier time in music.
Wait, you didn't say who are you, team J. Cole or Kendrick?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say Kendrick, only because he's local. He's from Compton, so
okay.
He's a California kid.
Okay. Well, the reason why I'm gonna say I'm team Kendrick for this one is because J. Cole he did that whole apology thing, and I'm like, no, why? Leave it, let it be. The fantasy, that entertainment of the fantasy of the rap beef.
What? Someone reminded me amongst the beef, somebody reminded me that Kendrick had a verse on Big Sean's song Control a few years back, which basically called out a bunch of rappers, and that inspired other rappers to come hard with a verse. So I think maybe this is like Control Part 2, where he wants Drake and J. Cole to basically spit as hard as they could.
Yeah.
Just like to kind of, like you said, liven up hip hop. And
it kind of reminds me of Nicki Minaj. Like, she just goes after everybody.
Man, she's a troll, like you said. She's a professional troll.
Professional troll. I'm kind of low-key mad I'm not going to one of her concerts.
Oh, I don't think she'll stop making music anytime soon.
I know.
So, same thing. That's what I say about Usher. I'm like, I don't think he'll stop touring anytime soon.
Okay, the next round, though, when I'm not pregnant, we're going to go to see Nicki Minaj. Cause
there we go.
That would be fun.
Let's go. Yeah, Hazel's a barb.
I'm a barb. That was one of my favorite Halloween costumes too. When I dressed up as Nicki Minaj.
Pink wig.
It was the pink tutu and the Barbie necklace. That was fun. That was one of my favorites.
Wow.
Maybe I'll bring it back one day. A different outfit.
That's such a look. I love it. But yeah, speaking of hip hop and different artists that we respect and admire, we just talked about Missy Elliott.
Yep.
And yesterday morning, she announced that she's going on tour.
Epic.
She's bringing Sierra with her and also Timbaland and Busta Rhymes.
Oh, that's right. Timbaland's gonna be there too.
Dude, like seeing the trailer for her announcement, it looked like the beginning of a classic Missy or Busta Rhymes music video from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And by the way, shout out to Busta Rhymes. He's looking really good. He looks like he's 30 years old again. What happened? He used to be big and bald, and now he's like skinny with his dreadlocks, which is probably a wig.
He's been working.
Oh yeah, he's been working, and so has Missy Elliott.
Work
it. Yo, so when I saw that, I was so excited. I was
Did
telling
they drop
you,
the dates already?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Tickets go on sale this Friday, and hopefully they release the dates soon. And I was telling Hazel, like, I don't know who I'm gonna take yet. I'm just gonna buy tickets and let's see who. You know what? I think they're gonna start the tour in July, so. Yeah, you're gonna you're still gonna be preggo. But we'll see. I'm excited about that. How do you? I mean,
well, I
I'm
went
sure
to Usher's concert at 7 months pregnant.
Oh, that's right. That was your baby
Vegas.
moon.
Yeah.
Ooh,
it was
okay.
fun. That was fun. I didn't mind it.
There we go. So maybe you could be one of my passengers going.
You
to the
were
concert.
the first. Well, you went with me to my first Usher concert.
Sure did.
When it was called Staples Center. I feel like I'm forever gonna call it Staples Center.
Same here. It'll always be Staples Center to
That
us.
was fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, I definitely want to make sure I secure some tickets for Missy.
Man, that's gonna be amazing.
I might even go by myself if nobody go with me.
Shoot.
Or we could maybe possibly do a contest.
A contest? Oh, to go with a listener?
Yeah. Oh. Or like a ticket giveaway, maybe, depending on how generous I feel.
Give me that ticket, Linz. Come on.
Oh, maybe you guys can sit next to me and Hayes at the concert.
Right in between.
Right. Between. Or we separated. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how generous I'm feeling. We'll see how many tickets I can actually secure.
Oh, if you want them tickets.
But you know what?
Make sure you follow us on all social media. You never know.
Yeah, we'll come up with like some rules and how to enter.
Hey, don't make promises, Linz. The people are gonna want what they want.
We'll see. I mean, yeah. As I'm saying this, I'm kind of like walking it back now because I'm remembering last week's guest, John, our financial advisor, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't spend a lot of money going forward. Like maybe I shouldn't buy extra tickets if I don't need them. But yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, he was our guest last week. If you guys didn't see that episode yet, definitely tune in. It was really informational.
Very.
And it was motivational for me too. I started kind of applying a few things that he was talking about.
What did you apply?
So the 3 priorities.
Ooh.
The priority number 1, emergency fund. Number 2, paying off debts. And number 3, investing.
Nice.
So before the show, before having him as a guest, I was really like adamant on paying off 2 major credit cards of mine. So I would be paying way more than minimum payment on them just to hopefully pay them off within a year. But what that was doing to me was that it was leaving me with like only a little bit of cash in my checking account every month. So I would eventually have to go back to using a credit card in order to like just get what I need for the month or whatever. Yeah. But after talking to him and listening to those 3 priorities, I'm like, okay, I don't have an emergency fund. I have a little bit of savings, but it's nowhere near like a 3 to 6 month emergency fund like he was talking about. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit less aggressive paying off my debt. I'm still going to pay more than minimum on my credit cards just because I want to like cut it down a little, more than just the interest or whatever. And then try to increase my savings account. So that's what I'm implementing now. So that's good. I shifted some things, and now that I feel like I was doing pretty good before we listened to him, but now that I've kind of heard what a professional has to say about how to organize your spending and your saving, I'm like, okay, now I feel like I'm moving at a more productive rate.
You know what I used to do? Yeah. Well, when I had like a full-time job, and it was obviously a lot easier for me to be more organized financially. I used to set like a savings aside, and it doesn't even matter if it's a little bit or a lot. Like just set it aside because it adds up down the line. Mm-hmm. And then I would always like focus on like one card first, and then I would put more. Oh, actually, before I did that, I would actually be like, okay, let me kind of set a goal for myself on when, say I want to pay it off in 3 months, I'll like divide it up in like however many paychecks within that 3 months, and then I'll just like put it away, you know, like, and then so kind of pay off that, and then I'll put like minimum on the other ones, and then kind of once that one is like fully paid off, then I'll move on to the next one. And it's really nice seeing like that trickle effect, because you're like, yes, I got one done, and then move on to the next one. But if you set your goals like that, you'll feel so motivated, because you can actually see that like calendar of like, okay, I'm gonna finish paying this off in 3 months, because I said I can set aside this much money for that to put in that payment. So like, yeah, that's what I used to do, like, and it really worked. Yeah,
that sounds like a good plan too, for sure.
And I always started with like, I mean, I think it's more advisable to do it with the bigger ones, but for me, it was more feasible to start with the smaller ones, because it would be more motivating when you see the smaller ones, like, oh, like tight, like, okay, that one's done, because it's like faster, and then you're like, all right, cool, it's like motivating, you know.
But, that's true. Yeah, I think, I mean, last week's interview with John was very helpful, and I just feel like more financially literate. I know you and I both came in there like we don't have financial literacy really, but I feel like we know more. I feel like we both can be more confident with how we choose to use or save our funds. And I think, I don't know, I definitely left that recording happy. Happy and positive. For me, in like full transparency, I think it wasn't that well, it was growing up, we didn't have like financial literacy, but like I knew that once I had a better grip on the finances, and I knew that I was able to take control. But then again, like now having to take a step back because I'm not making as much as I used to, that I'm like, shoot, I got to figure things out, you know. And then basically being a full-time stay-at-home mom, it's no joke, because then I trade off the finances, and then, you know, like having your partner having to cover that slack, which is like no joke. But, you know, now it's like, okay, I can't be ridiculously spending on, you know, whatever. Yeah, no more $6 coffees every day, you know. Oh but my gosh. Not that I did that, because I had really good Nespresso machine at home. But yeah, so I felt like I've always had a good grasp on it. It's just now that it's like kind of a snowball effect of like trying to catch up. I feel like I'm never able to catch up. So it's kind of now it's more like facing, you know, that ish now, and then kind of like having lost that, you know, that consistency of that pay is just like, you know, it's daunting to stare at that in the face. But I can imagine. Yeah.
But you know, it's a learning lesson.
We're working things out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're going to be all right.
Adulting.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Speaking of adulting, we are millennials.
Yes.
Which means we could be anywhere from 43 years old to I think 33 years old, or maybe 30 years old.
Should we put our Cash App or our freaking Venmo on the screen?
You know, if you
donations.
If you'd like to kindly, you know, donate to the Bank of Hazel or the Bank of Linz, that would be great.
Or the FILLENNIALs.
Yeah, the FILLENNIALs. I mean, we were kind of joking, but not. But yeah, we are going to put
joking, but not.
Yeah, well, we are going to have an Amazon wish list. Yeah, for sure. We could use some help here, because we're doing this for free for y'all, for now, until we start, you know, getting sponsors and whatnot. But that's a future goal of ours. But
we're on the way.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of adulting and being millennials, manila envelope, being millennials, damn, I really struggle with that. We're getting a little bit up there in age, and you know, we talk about Asian don't raisin and all that stuff, but I see a little bit of raisin in my face every now and again. So I know that I should be taking better care of my skin. I should be wearing sunscreen every day, which I don't do. How's your skin routine?
Oh my gosh, I love my skin routine. I got into my skin routine, I would say you know what? Actually in my 30s. Like, I think that was when I really started to care. Like, I didn't really care before that. But I think more so now, being in my mid 30s, I'm starting to see a little bit more like aging, and just kind of like I never really struggled with like under eye circles or like like too many wrinkles, but now I like do see them a lot more, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is not popping anymore. But I would say I got into my skincare. I have, okay, I will tell you what my favorite, can I tell you what my favorite skincare routine is?
Share.
So for a long time I was using the Fenty Skin, and I had like the whole routine, and I was using that for years.
Oh, the fat water toner.
Yup, I love her products, and I even got my husband into it, and his skin was looking amazing. He was telling me that people were like, dang, what do you do to your skin, you know? And then I'm like, yup. And then so now I like wanted to try I'm trying Hailey Bieber's products.
Ooh.
Like I got the whole like routine, and I love it too. It was kind of an adjustment just because I was so used to Fenty Skin, but I would say both are really up there right now. But I'm like finishing out my Rhode set, and then if you want to have a budget steal, I love the Elf hydration set. Those ones are really good too, and they're like super affordable, like $8 for a cleanser, or like.
You're speaking my language.
At Target. Yeah. Well, like Fenty Skin and Rhode is like more in the mid range. It isn't like crazy expensive, but if you want to go like super affordable, then go with the Elf. That you can't go wrong with that one. The hydration one.
There we go.
Oh man, I could talk skincare, makeup all day.
Dude,
like,
yes, please. I need help with that because as someone that I don't want to say grew up with eczema, I've discovered I had eczema at 19.
Oh wow.
So and it's kind of strange because a lot of people get them as kids, and now that I think back at it, I had symptoms of it as a child, but I wasn't diagnosed with it being eczema.
Was it severe when you were a child?
No,
or it was just like here and there, but
I had like patches on my forehead, and it was diagnosed as like ringworm or whatever.
Really?
Ringworm. But now looking back, I'm like, that was probably eczema.
Yeah.
So
I'm familiar with eczema. I don't have it, but my sister had it. So when she was a kid, it was like bad. But as she got older, it like lessened.
Yes. So with me, when it came to skincare, I was more or less concerned about addressing my eczema than anything else. So I kind of like looked at skincare. I was like, okay, soap my face, put like lotion on my face. It could be any lotion, and then address my eczema. And that was like my main concern. But now that my eczema is more or less at bay, I'm starting to notice like, yeah, I've been neglecting like what my skin really needs, which is like a routine.
Yeah.
I need to start doing sunscreen more.
Man, yeah, sunscreen's important for sure.
Yeah, and just like genetically, I can see what's coming down the road for me. I already have sunspots. I have like fine lines and things like that. So I had come across this one reel on Instagram from this content creator called Melly Sanford, and she actually came up with a youth serum. She has a ton of followers, and I never knew who she was until just a few days ago. And she basically said that she got rid of her fine lines, like her 11s, and like
I have that. Mine's deep. These
I have like
indents.
one really deep line here and some fine laugh lines, smile lines.
I never considered Botox, but then this indent is getting real deep right there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like with me, I'm super animated. I make jokes with like Hazel. Like I think my face is on 5 when it's really on 10. So like my facial expressions, like my wrinkles really come out, my lines come out, and it just creates deeper lines every time I make an expression. But Melly Sanford had I don't know if she came across this recipe from somebody else, but she has a youth serum that she created, which is basically castor oil, jojoba oil, and frankincense. And I was like, damn, those are just 3 ingredients. So I'm actually going to try that. I ordered the ingredients off of Amazon. I'm just waiting for them to come in, and I think I might document the journey.
Do it.
I definitely want to put it on my smile lines and my one really deep crease in between my eyebrows, and I want to see what happens. Like there's a lot of people in our comments that are like, oh, I tried your routine, I can already see results after a couple weeks, and I'm like, wow. I hope that they're not like just like blowing smoke up her ass or whatever. And I hope it really works, because I'm like, the Asian don't raisin thing, yeah, that applies until a certain age, or again, it depends on your genetics, and it's like, okay,
and your routine.
And the routine. Yeah. So along with the Fountain of Youth serum, which is what she called it, I'm going to start, applying sunscreen every day and making sure to cleanse and use the correct like products, and not just bar soap and then like body lotion. You know what I mean?
Have you been hearing about those? What do they call them? The Sephora 10-year-olds?
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
So annoying.
I have mixed feelings about that because it's like one, like it is kind of annoying, but at the same time, it's like no lie. I kind of wish I was taught at like a young age to like learn about like what proper skincare routine, because what did I learn? Did you ever have that? What's it called? Like, shoot, there's like something that
polvo.
A lot of, well, I used that when I was a little kid, but it's like a clear, shoot, I need to figure out what it's called, but I remember my mom having us like use it. I don't know if it's like there's another one like witch hazel, but man, there's another name for it, and I feel like it's like popular in the Filipino community too.
Is it like a toner type of thing?
Kinda. Yeah.
Oh,
well, I'll come back with the name for that one, but
was it in a green
is
bottle?
Is it yeah, it's like green bottle. Escanol or something like that, or I don't know. Okay, I'll have to come back with that. But yeah, it's like there wasn't that much like knowledge like that I have like about skincare routine when I was growing up. So
yeah,
but I think it's cool to teach your kids. I just think maybe a more affordable route, not sure. Sephora.
Dude, I mean,
stick to Elf maybe.
So when you said the 10-year-olds playing in Sephora, I was just thinking of like the different videos people would take of the samples that are just completely destroyed by these kids that are mixing makeup with skincare and everything's dirty.
Ew.
Yeah, like, so it's still like popular, but Fat Elephant?
Yeah.
Fat Elephant. I remember
Drunk Elephant. I never used it, but I've heard of it because of that. The 10-year-olds.
Yeah, Drunk Elephant. I think there were a couple of makeup creators or whatever, content creators that were mixing like skin tint with Drunk Elephant like moisturizer and using it like a skin tint.
Mixing it?
Yeah,
but isn't that defeating the purpose?
I'm not sure.
Because they do create products that have skincare and can be a skin tint. But like if you're mixing two separate products that are meant to be used separately, it kind of like messes up.
It dilutes the benefits.
So I feel like that won't work.
I'm not sure, but these little 10-year-olds are seeing these content creators mixing the foundation in their Drunk Elephant, and they're doing it at Sephora. So all these Drunk Elephant like samples are all messy with foundation when it's supposed to just be skin moisturizer.
Man, those samples that tester things, it's kind of scary to use.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone.
Even though I've used it like test to test, but
yeah, just be careful. Try sanitize what you can. Yeah, definitely sanitize what you can and try not to like. I've seen people that test lipstick on their fingers and they just hold it up to their face.
That's actually smart.
Yeah, instead of like putting it on directly, which is
never do that.
Very safe. Yeah, the finger thing is safe. The directly on lips, not
never
so safe.
Do that.
But yeah, that was my little rant on like aging and skincare and how I'm gonna try to get that in line. Like how I'm trying to get my finances in line, I'm trying to get my skincare in line. So
2024, baby.
There we go.
Self-care.
We're turning back the clock.
I know. No, I never really felt like I had that many crazy skincare problems or skin problems as well, but I do notice like I have more like sunspots and wrinkles, and I'm like, how do I address this? But
you know what? Actually, this is reminding me, when I was in high school, I never had an acne problem, and a lot of my friends did. And I think maybe that gave me like a false sense of, I guess I don't need to do much to my face because I don't have acne. And then fast forward, I'm like in my 40s and I'm like, wow, my skin is dry and textured and wrinkly. And who knows, probably my homegirls that did have like pimples in high school, their skin is probably like looking great right now because they're probably used to using different skincare products since they're a teenager. So they probably just carry that on into adulthood. So who knows?
Well, if you need an esthetician, I got one for you.
Hey, shout her out.
My best friend, Skin Goals, reach out to her in Cyprus.
Hey, there we go.